Hey guys, so all I've done here is I've jumped into my charting software here, and something I want you guys to know is that this looks really complicated right now, and I get that. And if you haven't seen my individual videos where I highlight each of these technical tools, I'll put the links in the description, but I'm going to try my hardest just to explain to you guys how this works. So the first thing I want you to notice is the gray area on the charts. These things are called Bollinger Bands, and if you don't know what these are, go ahead and click on this annotation or this link, and it will redirect you to the video on to explain to these in extensive detail. But all you really need to know is if the market breaks outside these Bollinger Bands, right? If it gets outside this gray zone, it's outside 2 standard deviations of the market values, which means it's in an area that 90% of the market shouldn't be. So to simplify that down, all you need to know is if the market breaks out of this gray area, it's going to bounce back in sooner or later. Okay. The other thing I want to point out is I use reversal strategies for binary options. Now I've explained this logic in the past, but if the market, if you know that for a fact, like for example, where I'm highlighting right now, the market switched directions. If you were able to predict that the market was going to fall for binary options at the least, you would be able to eliminate the fact that it wouldn't rise, right? So that means the market is only going one direction, meaning that binary options, by their simple nature, all you'd have to say is the market's going to go in this direction, not the other. So by definition, you're either right or wrong. So you'd be right. So it's kind of simple, and it's kind of, I know I'm really dumbing it down, but if you can predict reversal strategies, these are the best types of strategies for binary options, in my opinion. The other thing I want to point out, so I use Bollinger Bands, I use reversal candlestick patterns combined with Bollinger Bands, and if you don't know what the candlestick patterns are, like I said, I've got links in the description. Check out my other videos. I've got lots of guides on how to use them. But basically, if you see a candlestick pattern combined with a market breaking outside the Bollinger Bands, combined with these 2 other indicators. This first one, I just uploaded a video for the relative strength index. In fact, if we look at my tab right here, I'm about to publish it. But the relative strength index, essentially, it just measures whether a market has been overbought or oversold. So if a market has been overbought, it'll break above this green line. So like right here, the market broke above the green line or approached the value. So the market approached the value. There was a candlestick pattern that was forming. It broke outside the Bollinger Bands. And the last indicator I want to point out to y'all, it's this last one down here. This is a momentum reader. The momentum of the market is at if you see a peak, right? If you see the market starting to rapidly fall, then that means you have 5 different indicators all telling you the market's going to fall. The relative strength index, if you can wait for it to reach the 70 and 30 values, right? Go check out my other video if you don't know what this means. But essentially, if you can wait to where the market has been overbought or oversold, if you can wait for a clean candlestick pattern to form outside the Bollinger Bands and have the momentum of the market agreeing with you, you're going to win 89% of the time. And I know this is going to sound like, oh God, this is never going to happen, right? These opportunities, that's way too much. That's way too many technical indicators. The market will never line up with all those. That's like asking the planets to align for eclipse or whatever. And I strongly disagree with you because, like I said, at least twice a week I'll see opportunities in which everything will happen. And I'm going to be honest, I don't catch both of them because I don't have my eyes on the charts 24 hours a day, right? A lot of the times these will happen in the dead of the night. And so all I'm doing now is, like right now, I'm going to show you an example. If we go to the hourly chart, and I believe it was on the Great British Pound compared to the Great British Pound US pair. Right here is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so this happened as a result of the election news, but regardless, this is a dream setup. So this is a very famous candlestick pattern. Essentially, this says that there'd been a huge spike. The market, this is kind of a doji followed by a bearish confirmation candle. That's a strong candlestick pattern, followed by the fact that if you haven't seen my other video, it doesn't I'm looking at the relative strength index down here. Okay, so the relative strength index, while it didn't reach this green value, this purple let me go ahead and pull it up for you guys. If we can see here, this purple line, there's a significant difference between the purple line and this gray line. What that means is the actual market values are significantly above what the inner moving average is, meaning that the market is considerably overbought. Okay, so what I'm trying to make this as simple as possible for you guys. So the market was overbought based off the current values. It broke outside the Bollinger Bands, meaning the market was in a zone that and check out the other video if you don't understand this, but the market was in a zone that it should only be in 10% of the time, right? So the market should not have broken out of the Bollinger Bands. It did. The market was overbought. There was a clear candlestick pattern. And then if we can look on this momentum reader down here, the momentum was starting to shift directions, if that makes sense. So everything aligned, and then as we can see here, the market just continued to plummet. Now you can argue that the plummet, and I would agree with you that the plummet was a result of Donald Trump's surprise election winning. But I beg to differ, because every time news comes out, if you just see everything lining up, then you're gonna win, and it happens all the time. And I'm just trying to find more examples. Like I said, these only happen about. Let me try and get out of the election coverage here, because that obviously the election. If you don't know, there's huge spikes were results of the election. Like for example, here's another fantastic example. This is another clear-cut candlestick pattern. Strong bullish run followed by a doji followed by a bearish confirmation candle. That is a clear candlestick pattern that broke outside the Bollinger Bands. The market had been overbought compared to the inner moving average. The momentum of the market was considerably spiking downwards, and the fact that the market, it was just the market, that this bullish run was a result of a news spike that quite frankly was unwarranted for. So the overall direction of the market should not have allowed this to happen, right? So like I said, feel free to use this if you want. If you can be a hater and say this is never going to happen, this is bogus, he's making this up, but it wins 89% of the time. When I make my money, it's because I bet 3 times as much on these trades, right? So I have really big winners to cover all my little losses. And if this market did suddenly start reacting in a bizarre way, like if the market just continued to spike up, I would have just exited the trade, because based off 5 different indicators, if a bullish surge happened, that would just be a result of extreme volatility in the market, and I would have just exited the trade, because that would have just meant that, like, you know, everything was lining up, but the volatility trumped my system, right? That's the 10% of the time my system doesn't work. So like I said, that's just 2 examples this week that you could have placed these trades. And if you only placed those 2 trades this week, you would have been up 2 trades. That's better than placing 5 trades and losing 4 of them. You know what I mean? If you just are patient and wait for these opportunities in which all 5 of these indicators line up, then you'll make money. Now, I know this is kind of a lengthy video, and I know a lot of you guys are going to have no idea what I'm talking about. Please subscribe to my channel. Please go into I've got a playlist created where I show you all my guides and basics. Look at these technical tools that I've got and use them. Please understand these technical tools. Once you understand the underlying principles behind them and why they work, you can make so much money, especially with binary options. Like, call me crazy, but I'm going to become a millionaire through binary options. And then I'm going to start an online program where I teach you guys to do this. And this is a stepping stone to that. I'm already up 400% of what I started, right? Binary options are the way to make really good money if you're patient. So please subscribe to this channel. Please like the video. Please share the video. And I'll catch you guys in the next video if you stick around.